Welcome to another episode of Shop Talk down here at Page 3's Game Zone in Pikeville, Kentucky. I'm Nathan Varney.
And I'm Patrick Tackett.
And today we're going to be talking about the new issue Gotham by Midnight, the first issue of that will be on sale on Wednesday, November the 26th, 2014. This is a book that's written by Ray Fawkes. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. And the primary artist was Ben Templesmith. So, first thoughts, as usual when we do this, I guess we'll go ahead and give a quick warning that there is spoiler material here. So, if you're not interested in knowing anything about the book before you read it, then maybe pause this and come back and check it out after you've read the book. So, anyway, just some thoughts on the book here. One, art is not my favorite. Like, as a matter of fact, it's my least favorite art style.
Yeah.
A few of the things, one that you had mentioned, that as the last few pages of the book, it seemed to get...
It got rather messy, like it was rushed out.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what happened there. It almost was as if it was a different artist.
Almost. Yeah.
I agree with your mention on that when we were talking a minute ago.
Yeah.
But despite the shortcomings, in my opinion, on the art, now the color palette, I know the tones used in the book. Now I will say on that side that I did feel that was appropriate for this book.
Yes.
The setting.
Yeah.
That this book took and the tone that the book took, the color palette was well done. So I don't know if Templesmith did the coloring in that. I know a lot of times it's done by another person or another party or company, but nonetheless, it definitely was well suited to the book.
Yeah. I'm not seeing anything otherwise, so it looks like he probably did it.
Okay. So a good job there. And this is an art style that a lot of comic artists in the industry have used for quite some time. I just don't care for it. When it's been used on Daredevil, it's been used on quite a bit. Even Ghost Rider, Punisher.
A lot of the more dark.
Yeah, there was another Batman series that used that maybe a year or two ago, maybe a little longer than that ago. But nonetheless, it's just an art style that I understand there's a lot of people that do really like it. It's just not, I just don't. So it's not Romita Jr.
No.
And for anyone that knows me and my opinions on comic art, that is my least favorite.
Yeah, we unfortunately we despise Romita Jr.
Yeah. Current. Now his original
art was great.
Was great.
Yeah.
I really did like his original stuff, but in the last decade or so, it's just I don't care for that. So, but nonetheless, enough of that. Was really my only detraction from this book.
Yeah. Now, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me as bad most of the time. It went, like you said, the color palette went very well. It started off better than how it ended. Like we said, it looked like it was rushed at the end, or maybe someone tried to take over and use the same style of art, and it didn't work out quite well. But that kind of stuff doesn't deter me too much from the book, as long as the story is really good.
So yeah. But to get over that, if you can look past the art, which now I've done routinely over the years, even if I'm not cared for an artist or an art style, I'll still give a story a shot if it has any intrigue to me at all. And as soon as you mentioned, you took a peek at it earlier when we were deciding on what book to look at this week, and you mentioned Jim Corrigan.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are following and watching the Constantine television series, that this most recent episode had Jim Corrigan in it. So here this book is Jim Corrigan. So I was like, yes, please.
Now, this isn't like the New Orleans Jim Corrigan. This is the actual DC's Gotham Jim Corrigan.
Yes.
So, and he is the Spectre in this, which his what we'll get into later, his team doesn't know that. He's still, to them, he's just the detective cop.
Yeah.
So,
but I was definitely intrigued enough to look and willing to look past the art to read this book, and glad that I did. It was it was good enough to make me wonder. I'm intrigued to read the second issue.
Yeah.
So, because I want to know, there's some stuff that I'm not sure about. Now, part of that maybe is I'm a little weak. Well, I wouldn't say a little weak, a lot weak on especially Spectre and some of Batman's side characters, and some of the universe around, kind of the non-primary villains and characters in Batman. I'm not really up to speed on some of that, and I'm definitely very weak on Spectre lore. So, but it's pretty interesting. We opened as a quick synopsis. I guess the book opens up, and you find out that there's this team.
It's District 13.
District 13.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Hunger
Yeah.
Games. But District 13, a group of detectives. Like what was that? Some type of task force. A special task force division of the GCPD.
Yeah,
that works on unusual cases.
Yeah. Gordon has set aside this team himself and funded.
Yeah, so they've got internal affairs. Someone from internal affairs has showed up and is, as he put it, is there to shut them down.
Yeah,
it was just a formality for him to come out. He's looking to shut them down, and so they invite him. Jim Corrigan shows up at the office there, so to speak, and is like, "How about you go for a ride with us tonight, and it'll completely change your mind."
Yeah, and what's interesting, if this is a Gotham book, and it's hard to not have Batman in a Gotham book, and he does show up for one page.
Yeah,
and he's basically it kind of leads into that. Batman is giving some of these unsolved cases to Corrigan, and he kind of passes his hand over it until one of them, he gets a tingle and his hand glows where he is the Spectre. He finds out that, hey, this one's a little bit more geared towards us on the supernatural side. The rest of these are just plain old crimes that you can have.
Yep.
So
he goes from there. There's the dip of Batman there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they go and they take him along for the ride. They go into Corrigan. They go out to a home where these girls have been abducted and returned, and they're speaking gibberish.
Yeah.
And are just completely, not normal anymore.
No.
These are the girls that, I guess, the primary part of the reason that Corrigan felt the touch, if you will, from this case file. And so they go out, investigate that a little bit, and Corrigan and the Sergeant Rook from Internal Affairs end up in the Slaughter Swamp.
Slaughter Swamp. And if anybody knows what the Slaughter Swamp is, it's Solomon Grundy territory.
Yep, so that's intriguing. They rifle around in the Slaughter Swamp, and Sergeant Rook, basically, you can tell that he's already, like, by the end of that, I mean, even just in that brief few pages, was already like, this is a little bit more weird than I thought. So maybe these guys are legit.
Yeah.
So they go into what appears to be a schoolhouse.
Like an old abandoned schoolhouse in the swamp, yeah.
And there's a room full of kids.
And as they're going there, it kind of panels back to the house where the rest of the crew is with the girls. And as they're getting closer to the house, the girls start running around screaming and frantically looked like they were bashing themselves into walls and stuff. So
yeah, so just wigging out. And so then the book ends with Corrigan and Rook walking into that schoolhouse, and there's like this really freaky looking nun with a room full of really weird, potentially possessed or undead children in this abandoned schoolhouse. So the book is called Gotham by Midnight. It's these strange unsolved cases. Like I said, I mean, I suppose they decided to. Interesting that they decided to go with this Jim Corrigan take as the primary character here and not Batman, and I'm okay with that.
I am too.
I love Batman, but
I am too. I've been waiting
for
the I've been waiting for the Spectre to pop up in the new 52, and to me, I'm kind of glad they're going back to the old Jim Corrigan. He is a detective by heart, and he did in the old days, Golden and Bronze Ages and everything. He did use his detective skills with the Spectre in the end to kind of help him out. So I'm kind of glad they went with this, and it does reflect. I did get that feeling of Constantine. If you're a fan of the Constantine TV show, you know it's that whole horror detective situation going on.
Yeah, amen. That's I really felt like it was an offshoot or an episode of Constantine.
Yeah.
I mean, without John Constantine, obviously, but I mean just that type of story. So yeah, absolutely. If you're interested in that television series, this would be a book to check out. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least read the first couple of issues. I mean, I really think if you read the first issue, you'll want to at least read the second issue and find out what happens. Yep, so, kudos to Fox for the writing on that. I mean, he's pieced together a lead-in on the story here.
Yep,
good job.
Did real well.
I think that kind of sums it up for me. Any final thoughts for you, Pat?
No, just can't wait for the second issue.
All right. Well, again, Gotham by Midnight #1 on sale. Hit shelves. We're filming this the day before release, so it'll be on sale tomorrow. That is Wednesday, November the 27th. No, 26th. 27th is Thanksgiving. So Wednesday, November the 26th. And there are copies available down here at Page 3's Game Zone in Pikeville, Kentucky. So if you're interested in having ordering a copy, having it shipped to you, or just even having a copy held for you, if you want to come by the store and pick it up, just shoot us a message on our website. You'll be able to. There's a link to it below, either in the comment-ish section, the About section on YouTube and on Facebook. There's also, you'll be able to see that below there as well. So definitely come and check that out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for this week of Shop Talk down here at Page 3's Game Zone, and we'll see you next time.
Be classy.